Yo. Come on in. Come on in, man. Come on in. How y'all doing today, man? Let's talk some sports for a little while, man.
Been a couple
Not gonna
days.
hold y'all all day, man, but we got to talk some sports, man. We talk sports in about a week with y'all, so we got to stop in right quick. Give y'all our quick thoughts on some hot topics out there right now. But Chris, man, you know what to do.
Yeah, man. A lot of things going on just around Atlanta, period. So, today we're gonna kind of like just, take a tour around Atlanta, around a few things that's been going on, a few teams, a few hot topics that's going on, just like Smitty was saying. And it's been a couple of days, man. Mother's Day just passed. So, definitely happy belated Mother's Day now to everyone and everyone's mother, grandmother, etc., wife, etc., all that good stuff. So hopefully everyone had a great Mother's Day. And now, of course, it's Monday, so time to go back to work, and that's what we back to do.
Facts. DBG, what's up, man? My boy Mo said, as long as we don't give up too much, he'll go for Trout. That means, hey, we're gonna get into that in a second, man. And look,
Mhm.
I know y'all gonna be mad that we talking about it, but hey, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. Let's
Oh
get it,
man,
GA.
like I
What's
said,
up,
we
my
got a
guy?
lot to talk about today, man. I ain't gonna lie
Oh
to you.
yeah, oh
We're
yeah,
gonna
hell
take a
yeah.
little tour.
Facts. Ron, what's up, man? Zay, what's going on? Melvin, what's good? What's good? Hey,
Yes.
Melvin. Melvin said he went to Dub, man. Melvin, who was your teacher at Dub? And what year did you come out of
Hey.
school? Yeah, but we got to start this off, man. We got the Jason Roberts. What's up, my guy? Yeah, we
Right.
got to start this off, man. And DBG, he already know we going. Um, we got to give a quick shout out to well, not shout out. We got to give a salute to two great Atlanta icons. And a lot of y'all didn't agree with a lot of things that went on behind the scenes. But some things, we still human at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Um, he came out in 2014, so you way younger than me, Melvin. Um, I'm sorry to hear that. Damn, his mom passed away. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Oh no.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, my guy. But yeah, Ted Turner first bought the Braves, I think, in 1976 for $500,000, and
Mhm.
Atlanta was, starting to become an up and thriving city around that time. A couple years after that, CNN started. Shout out to my boy John Freaky, who helped start CNN in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Um, then you look after he purchased the Braves, and I think around that same time, Dale Murphy was drafted. I think he was drafted the year I was born, actually. So Dale Murphy came to the Braves, two-time MVP, back-to-back seasons. Braves starting to, move in the right direction, but it just wasn't hitting on all cylinders.
Mhm.
You still had Hank Aaron, who was still an Atlanta icon at that point. He had retired from baseball, but Ted Turner invested in the late '90s. Um, Started investing in talent, and with that talent came a new manager, Bobby
Right.
Cox. Came in, I think, 1990, if I'm not mistaken, 1991,
Oh.
and they started, building what we know today as a strong farm system. And however Ted Turner did that, him and Stan Kasten and John Sherholtz, uh, they put together a hell of a team from 1990, no 1991, when we made the World Series, all the way up until right now. Atlanta wasn't always that successful in baseball until those two guys came along.
Mhm. And the
So
crazy.
when you
Oh yeah.
go ahead.
I was just about to chime in and be like, remember though, Smitty, on well, I know I read about this. I definitely wasn't there, but it was crazy because Ted Turner hired Bobby Cox and fired Bobby Cox and then
Right,
brought him back later on.
right, right, right. Because I think Bobby Cox, he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was on the same staff with Joe Torre for a while in Atlanta. And he ended up coming back, like you said. But what I was saying, from for the last, I would say, 35 years, a lot of it was built because of Bobby Cox and Ted Turner. Those guys were two of the main factors in the Braves baseball that we know of today. Because I remember in 88, 89, I was about 9, 10 years old. The Braves only won 50, 60 games those 2 years. I remember they had one of the worst teams in the league at one point. But when they put that front office together along with what Ted Turner did, him invested into this team. Yeah, we had some bad years in the early 2000s, but from 1991 all the way up to now, the Braves have been one of the better teams in the league. Um,
For the most
since
part.
outside of the Yankees, and we know what the Yankees, they spend money to win championship. The Dodgers, I can go on and on. Even the Mets were good back in the day. Um, but for what those two guys meant for to the city of Atlanta, it just cannot go unrecognized. And they both of them, or Ted Turner, I already has a street named after him. Hank Aaron has a street named after him. So let's see what they do with Bobby Cox. Um, I just can't wait to see how he's remembered in Atlanta as far as being one of the. And he didn't play baseball, but he was just one of the best managers to ever uh managing the Major League Baseball because and even though I gave him a hard time because some of the decisions he made during the critical times in the World Series, I scratched my head. But that doesn't take away from his greatness and what he meant to the city of Atlanta. But what do you remember most about either of these guys?
Oh well, I know that Ted Turner. After we won the World Series, I know he sold it in '96, but
Right.
he still. My whole thing is about the Braves. If it wasn't for Ted Turner, the Braves would have left again. Like they've
Agreed.
been on the move and everything like that. If Ted Turner wasn't the savvy businessman and just philanthropist that he was, Atlanta wouldn't even be considered an international marketplace, and also was just like him, just his dealings with Atlanta. Think about it, it's a lot of shows. Think about it, it's a lot of shows, like a lot of networks, even though some of those networks aren't there anymore now. But think about just where it started from, some of the like the Cartoon Networks and all this different stuff like that. Like he helped orchestrate a lot of this stuff. He had the TBS, the Turner Broadcast System, and uh, that right there helping us, be able to watch the Braves and other shows and everything like that. Just real influential, and he did a lot of things. I'm not, I mean, personally, he did whatever he did, but just talking about just his influence just around Atlanta, just everything is just was just it just because of Ted Turner, man. Like honestly, think about it for the wrestling fans. The Monday Night Wars don't happen if Ted Turner didn't step in and try to go against Vince McMahon. Ted Turner is one of the only individuals that was ever able to get under Vince McMahon's skin because Vince McMahon actually started doing parodies, trying to make fun of Ted Turner. Why? Because
I
Ted
remember
Turner
that.
was orchestrating things behind the scene with the Eric Bischoffs and all that stuff. But that WCW wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Ted Turner. So it's like a lot of things just in history, period. Just like Ted had his hands on, or Ted was behind the scenes and everything. And again, like I said, he brought out the best in Vince McMahon. I mean, regardless of what he got going on now, I'm just think about the Attitude Era. All that's an era for wrestling fans that they we really love. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I still love the Attitude Era because I used to watch that then. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, like Ted, that's a guy that always got around as far as like business wise, meant a lot to Atlanta. Now for Bobby Cox, I mean, what can you say? Somebody that always fought for his players, always uplifted them. Everyone always have wonderful things to say about Bobby. Yeah, they'll say he was a sometimes no nonsense if you would say it like that. Sometimes you would bump heads with players and all that stuff, but just general love, man. And you just from a lot of players, even from organizations that is not the Atlanta Braves, just giving shouts outs and everything because Bobby Cox was a respectable individual around the baseball community. and he will be sadly and greatly missed, just like Ted Turner will be, man. And honestly, just think about it, man. That's first real World Series championship in Atlanta, and Bobby Cox was there. Bobby Cox, helped orchestrate it. And honestly, we should have got more with Bobby Cox. We had a lot of good teams with Bobby, but sometimes we just couldn't get over that hump. But overall, you knew every single year when he was the skipper, we had a chance to go to the playoffs and do some things. We had a chance with the talent that we had. A lot of talent has came through Atlanta as well, and a lot of people have a lot of great things to say about Bobby. He'll be greatly missed, and it's just so crazy, man. You just have that back to back like that, but that's how life goes sometimes.
Agreed, agreed. Like you said, man, if it weren't for a lot of these guys, man, it wouldn't be no wrestling, man. Because if y'all in the chat, y'all old enough to remember. And I know my boy, Let's Get It Jay, old enough to remember, man. Just like he talking about Channel 17 back then, Channel 17 was free. Now you got to pay for TBS and TNT. Monday Nitro. When Monday Nitro came on every Monday night, I was glued to the TV. But back in the day, they had Center Stage. Center Stage had wrestling matches and things like that, and we got free tickets all the time. All that happened because of Ted Turner giving back to the community. So yeah, I mean, people will never know, how it felt, to grow up in the era that we grew up in, just getting free stuff all the time, going to sporting events, wrestling events, not having to pay for it. So all that was because of guys like Ted Turner and what he did for the community.
Yep, DBG, he know about it right here too. Yep, led the ratings 84 straight weeks. WWF almost went out of business. That's why I said he brought the best in Vince McMahon. He put Vince McMahon's back against the wall. And honestly, if some things don't bounce the right way for Vince, we wouldn't even be in no WWE right now. For real. Yep, TBS was king for sure. So I'm saying, yep, Channel 17. You better believe it. You better believe it. But that's what I'm saying, man. Greatly missed. Gonna be greatly be missed. Uh-oh, Smitty, you still there, bro? Oh shoot. My bad, y'all. It's just this stream, y'all, boy. Sometimes be tearing Smitty up, boy. Man, sometimes you just gotta laugh at it. You can't even get mad at it no more. All right, let's see. Yo.
Yo,
All right, there we go.
yeah, I'm back, man. My bad, technical difficulty. I was saying, um, they'll never know how good we had it, man, because coming up, um, we had it good, man. We could go to free wrestling events at Center Stage. Come give us free Braves tickets. We got to see all this stuff for free. And just like I was saying before I was interrupted, the thing that we watch on the streaming services like Sanford and Son, Andy Griffin, we got to see that free on TV back in the day, every single day. So yeah, TBS brought us a lot of joy, had us glued to the TV 24/7. After we came out from outside playing football, of course. But yeah, TBS. If it weren't for TBS, our childhood wouldn't have been the same. TNT
Right.
too, Monday Nitro, all that good stuff.
Crazy thing about this too, I know somebody that used to work for TBS, and they have nothing but great things to say about Ted Turner as well. He did so much for his employees and just the people that so he rocked with. He was very, I can say like he was one of those ones that would give back. And that's great to hear, and that's great. That you do those things, especially when you're blessed to have all those finances that you have. So
Right.
again, both gentlemen would definitely greatly be missed. Definitely had to give them their own segment, so you speak. Just talking about them and really just remember them, man. That's what we have to do. We have to remember the good times with these guys and just move forward, man.
Yeah. And my last thing is, I saw Ted Turner God knows how many times. Either I saw him walking in the CNN Center, just walking, around, or during the Hawks games or during the Braves games.
Hmm.
He would be just walking around the complex or around the stadium, just walking and talking and shaking hands and taking pictures. That's just what type of person he was, man. So yeah, I mean, like you said, man, some things can't be replicated, and I don't think that's one of those things that can.
It's so
Just keep it
crazy.
real with y'all.
My last thing that I have on this thing too is, and you knew that he still loved Atlanta because before he was starting to take his last breaths and everything, just thinking and talking about things that he regret. And he talked about two different things that he regret, but the thing that mattered to me was the fact that he was never able to get an NBA championship with the
Yep,
Atlanta Hawks.
yep.
That's one of his only regrets.
And I'm telling y'all, it wasn't his idea to trade Dominique. That was Stan Caston all the way.
Yeah.
But another story for another day. Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, they came on 5 after the hour. Yep.
Yep.
And there was a strategy to that too, because all the other shows started at the top of the hour. So you
Mhm.
get that 5 minutes, you tune in and see what the other show about. If you don't like that, you still got time to flip on back over to TBS and catch that show from the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, Uncle G, he showed he drove a Ford Taurus. I mean, he had Mercedes Benzes and things of this nature, but you always see him in just a domestic car. That's just who he was. He always, humbled himself and stayed down to earth. But switching on while we talking about Braves,
Mhm.
um, there was a um video out on CBS Sports talking about possible trades for Mike Trout. And the Braves ended up on that list, and I'm not surprised because
Boy, I tell
I'm
you.
telling you, I've been beat on drums for that. If you've been following me, before I deleted all my other videos, the ones I had to, um, I talked about Mike Trout about 4 or 5 years ago. I actually wrote an article on it, on what was it called on Google? I wrote it under my Google account, but that post got every bit of 35,000 reads,
Mm.
and I got some positive feedback on it. So here we are, 5 years later, talking about it again. He's 34 years old now. I think
Yeah,
33 or 34.
34.
Um, so we're gonna get back into this conversation just one more time. And 34 years old, and I'm telling you, if we make a trade right now, I'm gonna just tell you, they will have to take on some of that salary because he's still owed about $170 million.
Yeah,
So
making
for so
yeah,
for them to move
good
him,
good money.
they're going to have to take on at least half, if not 100 million of that salary remaining, and it's justified because he's injury prone. This is his best season in probably about 4 or 5 years. So, right quick before we start the video, man, tell me what would a Mike Trout trade look to you?
Well, for clarity, I mean he does have 11 home runs and batting 1,000 on the OPS right now. It's just the Angels; they at the very very bottom. As far as a trade for Mike Trout, boy, oh man, your prospects, the Braves prospects, they're still trying to get that farm system back to like how it was around in the 2020-2019 range. But so I don't know if they really have anybody they necessarily want to get rid of or would be happy to part ways with. But I will say this though, you're definitely going to have to involve a player. It'll be interesting to see the Angels do something like that. But we'll get into those reasons. Let me stay on topic. I'm thinking, bro, you're gonna have to. Yeah, the Angels gonna have to definitely take on some of that salary for at least 70 mil, 75, maybe 80 of it. Really, I want them to take on 100 of it, and we just take the 70. But we'll see. I feel like you're gonna have to get rid of a player. It's not like you can. What can you trade Jerrison Profar to him? I don't think they can do that. I mean,
No, because
regardless,
he's suspended.
and then regardless, his money was guaranteed already anyway. It didn't even matter. He's still getting paid, even though he's suspended. But I'm thinking you may have to get rid of Austin Riley, bro,
That's where I
and
was going
or,
with it.
or Matt Olson. It's gonna have to be either one of those two, and I'm not trading Matt Olson. So with that being said, the only guy that's left for me is Austin Riley, and that is bittersweet for me because I like Austin Riley. I still believe in Austin Riley, but if we just want to keep with the bottom line is he is not producing for what he's getting paid, and he
Agreed.
hasn't for a few seasons now. And he's even started off slow, even though the Braves right now are one of the best teams, if not the best team in baseball right now. Austin Riley still hasn't came around. So just imagine how even much better they could be if he was at least able to rake some too. So one
Nah,
thing
you
about
can't get rid
Trout,
of Olsen.
one thing about Trout though, bro, I like our left field would be like our outfield, I think would be like the best in baseball overall. I mean,
Easily.
because you got Trout, Harris, who's already to me the best center fielder out there, and then you have a healthy Ronald Acuna Jr. in right
Right.
field. It's kind of like good luck.
And then the thing about it, what would you put Mike Trout in the lineup though? Because Olsen is bad in cleanup. So do you put Trout in like the sixth spot?
Mm, I
I'd
mean,
say the sixth spot.
I'm about to say
Yeah, probably why. Yeah, DH, but yeah, sixth spot is what I'm saying. Yeah, I could see him as a DH because yeah,
well,
but
see,
yeah,
that's
go
the
ahead.
only thing because and that where and my thing is Austin Riley is not going to be enough. So I was going to wait until after we played the video, but heck, I can ask right now. Okay, so what if they say we want Drake Baldwin? I can't do that.
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying. I can't do that. So it's like, okay, now I got to dangle Sean Murphy, and I don't know if you want that. So it's like, well, I'm talking about the Angels. I don't know if the Angels will want to do that because it's like, I mean, Sean Murphy, okay, but you got Austin Riley, so you get a catcher, you get a third baseman, for Mike Trout. And they're probably still gonna want like a prospect or something like that
You
too.
you'll get at least two pitching prospects, at least two, probably Austin Riley. And they give up Trout, and they'll probably give you back a prospect as well, or a relief pitcher.
I just know it's guys on this team. It's really like you think about it, you would have to give them like a whole bunch of like a group of people because like the heavy hitters you're not trading. Like you're not gonna trade them. Like my thing is you're not gonna trade Ronald. You're not gonna trade Ozzy. I'm just going up and down the lineup, bro. Who are you trading for Mike Trout? You're not trading
Right.
Michael Harris. You're not trading Acuna. So the only guys that are left out there like that for me is Austin Riley and possibly Sean Murphy. Because I'm not trading Drake Baldwin either. Because you know what you got
No,
to give me
catcher
for
of the
Drake
future.
Baldwin.
Yeah.
You got to know what you got to give me for Drake. I need more. I need more than Mike Trout because I feel like Mike Trout was not enough of you. I got to give you Drake Baldwin. So it's bro. And then again, Matt Olson. Matt is starting to look like he's returning to that form that he had when he had over them 50 homers.
Yeah, he already back in the MVP race. To me, he in front.
Right. And even though Freddie seems like he's having creating a whole nother Hall of Fame career with the Dodgers, if you look at them and look at their numbers since the trade, bro, they right there,
Yeah,
neck
they
and
neck
neck.
and neck. Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, do I miss Freddie? The brave in me will always love Freddie. You know what I'm saying? Freddie Freeman. I always remember Freddie. But it's like at the end of the day, I'm happy that Matt is here. I'm not mad that Matt is here. Freddie took the money and went to the Dodgers. It is what it is. He's
That
happy.
does.
We're happy.
Well,
It is.
yeah, you know that was on his agent though. The Braves offered him the same amount of money. It was
Pretty
just a
much.
year difference. Yeah, it was just a year difference. That's all.
Yeah, man.
But
Those
yeah,
those guaranteed years. But But oh man, but let's go ahead and see what the analyst has to say though.
And we'll pause it just to get it going.
So
Yeah.
this other potential team is interesting, given what we said already, because we're talking about him being friends with Bryce Harper, being from Philly. He's at the Eagles games. You know, he loves the Phillies. And now we're talking about him potentially going to the Braves, the ultimate enemy.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's always been fond of the Atlanta organization. And I think when you look at the Braves team right now, they are power ranked as the best team in baseball ahead of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think most baseball people look at this as the team to beat. And one of their biggest weaknesses is left field. Their left field.
Before we go on, I got to say this. We got a better record than the Dodgers. The Dodgers got a damn $1 billion payroll. And look at how we played them last weekend. 2 out of 3 games.
We won the series.
Just think about that. So you add Mike Trout. We talk about being better than even the Dodgers. And there's another team right next to us on that diagram right there, the Yankees. What they known for doing, putting together powerhouse teams as well. Just think about that. And the team, the 4th team, Tampa Bay always finds a way to win with mediocre talent. Let that sink in. Just let that sink in.
So far is out for the year with a PED suspension. Right now they've got Mike Yastrzemski out there, who's more of a 4th outfielder than an everyday outfielder. You've got Ron Acuna Jr., who has been often injured, is on the injured list right now. And I can envision Mike Trout in the outfield with Acuna and Michael Harris. It would be a perfect fit for them. And that would give Mike Trout a legitimate shot, even a better chance than Philadelphia, of winning a World Series. And he would fit perfectly with that team. Now, keep in mind, if he were to be traded, nobody's going to take Jacqueline the $170 million he's got left on the contract.
I already said
going to
that.
pay $37.16 million for his services. And in fact, if you look at most of the metrics, I know Fangraphs has his value at $13.9 million. I have his value at around $17.5 million. So, you know, pick a number in between that if you want. But that's basically baseball-wise what he has been worth, although he is off to a really good start this year, and that number could go north, maybe to the 20 million range. But I think somebody, if they're going to trade for Trout, they're going to ask the Angels to pay around 70 million of the Honda remaining, along with 2 solid, really good prospects for a deal to be made. The other issue we have to think about, Jacqueline, in a potential trade here is their GM Perry Manassian's on the last year of his contract. He is on the hot seat. And this is a GM that refused to trade Shohei Ohtani, even though they knew he was going to lead the team 2 months later when he was a free agent. They didn't trade him. And if Perry Manassian
Giants know about it,
can you imagine what the fan reaction would be in
not
Anaheim,
the San Francisco Giants
for that trade? I mean, so if you're Perry Manassian, I'm not sure he's going to make that trade with his job on the line right now, unless they make a general manager change. So as much as I love talking about the possibility of Mike Trout finishing his career in Philadelphia or Atlanta with a chance to win, I think when you look at the contract, you look at his age, you look at the front office, you look at his loyalty to the Angels, it's probably unlikely it actually happens, but it certainly.
And I'm going to add to that.
Go ahead.
You think about it. When have the Braves given anybody $35 million a year?
They have
$37 million a year.
They have it.
There ain't nobody ever got paid that much.
But listen to what he said in between that stuff. He said they value him from 13 to 17 million, which means they've been overpaying him for at least 2 to 3 years, maybe 4 years. So when you look at his contract and him saying that they will have to pay 70 million on his remaining contract, that means you would still have to pay him another 20 to 25 million, which I still think, you know, at this point in his career, he's not worth that. Let's keep it real. But if he comes to Atlanta and he's just a DH, I'm making that deal all day long because he doesn't have to play defense. You don't have to worry about him running and pulling his hamstring unless he's running the bases. But as far as getting injured while playing outfield, you wouldn't even have to worry about it. Remember Marcell Ozuna, who we just got rid of this past year?
The big
he would play that same type role. And I would love that because we know at his peak, Mike Trout could hit 35 to 45 home runs in any given year.
I
And
heard,
34. Yeah, but go ahead.
no, I was about to say I heard Ozuna is not having a good year right now either. By the way,
Nope.
I heard.
We all knew it was going downhill. We started to see it 2 years ago.
Man, after he was getting dinged up last year, I was like, man, Braves ain't bringing him back, because my thing is when it's be tendencies, and overall you just think about it from 2020 into 2026, you have to by default now, especially with two new GMs in football and basketball, you have to, if by default, say Alex is the best GM in Atlanta. So with that being said, learning his tendencies is never good when you get into the final year of your contract as a Brave under Alex, because most times you're not coming back. They're not going to overspend. And it's not just Alex. You got to remember, Liberty Media exists.
Right.
So that's really where it's coming from. Liberty Media. It's just like, for wrestling fans, it's just like TKO and WWE. Like TKO is like pulling the strings and stuff like that. And that's why WWE look like the way they look. But anyway, but it's similar like that. It's like Alex is Triple H. And he's doing the best that he can with the talent. But, you know, I know that's somewhat of a bad example because those are two totally different people and they operate two totally different ways. But I'm just trying to paint the picture of Liberty Media, TKO, and everything falls underneath those entities. So it's like, bro, are we even going to spend the money? Like, I'm worried if we're even going to pay Ronald Acuna or if we're going to see him in a Dodgers or Yankees or a Red Sox uniform or a Mets uniform in a couple of seasons. So
that would piss the fan base off. You would lose a lot of season ticket holders if that happened, because the only other person, all the other two people outside of Ronald Acuna to have this type of effect on the Braves, I just named them earlier: Dale Murphy and Hank Aaron. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones is another one.
We can say Freddie Freeman too. We can make it a top
Freddie
5.
Freeman. Yeah,
we can make it a 5 for sure.
And then the pitchers, we don't even have to talk about them. Larry Smokes and Maddox. That's just a given. We talking about as far as hitters. We don't have them type people as often as we should. And we have Acuna, and yes, he's getting injured and he has his injury concerns. But when he's 100% and he's a go, outside of Shohei Ohtani, he's the best player in baseball. Easily.
I tell people that.
So look, any way you want to spin it, if Mike Trout came to the Braves and we got him for a very fair deal, I would do it. Because guess what? We don't even have all our pitchers healthy right now. We still had the best record in baseball. Just think about that.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. Just getting back on AA. Think about this, Braves fans. Imagine us winning a World Championship yet again this year, right? Now, I'm not saying we're not paying people, because a lot of those contracts that he gave before, they've already kicked in now. That's why our payroll is even where it is now. And it's still really not one of the top payrolls in baseball. Yeah, it's top 10, but that's because, again, previous contract. Yeah,
nobody topping the Dodgers. You can forget it.
Yeah, but just think about it. Even with not overpaying guys or not giving guys this buku bags of money, and if we mess around and win a world championship, Alex is going to make so many franchises look bad. And to be honest, he's going to be owed a lot of apologies just from Alex. You don't spend no money. It's not just Alex. It's Liberty Media. And it's really mostly Liberty Media. But if they're able to win a championship again with spending just, around about this amount, just a certain amount, don't go over this line, it's just going to make other franchises look bad. But also, it's going to make Liberty Media feel like they are the smartest in the room, which means we still probably not going to be paying people, which means guys are going to start to leave, which means we're going to have to figure it out. Alex is going to have to figure it out the same way he's been doing the entire time.
And think about this too. This is why AA gets my respect from this point on. He got Ronald Acuña in a throw-in deal.
He really did.
They just threw Ronald Acuña in, not knowing what he was going to be worth. I think he was 17 years old at the time. Just think about that.
I think he was. Yeah,
He was
young.
17,
He was young,
17, 18. And I think it was a trade they made with the Marlins, and they just threw him in the deal. Not knowing that they had a GM that could shape their team for the next 10 years.
You know,
But
there's
hey,
something about wearing that Braves uniform too, man. You know, it's something about when you put on those Braves threads, man. You know, it just brings out the
just like
best
the
in you.
Yankees. Just like the Yankees. When you
Yeah,
put that uniform on, I mean,
pinstripe.
it just take it to another level. It's the same thing in football. A
Most
lot of
people
people say,
that go in those uniforms, yes, bro.
yeah,
It's like, and because the Dodgers have a little mystique to them like that, but it's only, I feel like it's more recent than overall. I feel like it's so many Braves players that I can name that when they had those threads on, they were just okay, you know, recent and in the past. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, yeah, it's, you know, but it's like when they go anywhere else, it's like, okay, this the same person that was in the Braves uniform. You
yeah. I
know, so
mean,
it'd be real interesting.
one
A
thing
real
too, bro.
mystique.
It's about the city too, man. Something about the
Mhm.
the Atlanta culture that just hypes players up, man. Um,
Don't
remember
Jesse Chavez know it?
remember Matt Kent when he was with the Dodgers, kept getting hurt, and he came to us.
Yeah.
He had a bit of a resurgence before he finally went out for good. But when he got here and he was at his peak, he's one of the best players in the National League. So yeah,
Bro, so
sometimes
many guys. Remember
yeah,
Andres Galarraga?
yep, big
Just
cat,
saying, man, big
absolutely.
cat. Just,
Gary
I mean,
Sheffield, another one.
Sheffield, I'm saying he, you know, and my thing is Sheffield was always good. I think just about everywhere he went. But again, man, them
Sheffield should
Braves,
be in the Hall of Fame.
he
Point
definitely
blank,
should.
period.
He definitely
Oh,
should.
and speaking of that, man, shout out to Gary Sheffield Jr., man. I had him on the show.
So,
Man, we
man,
had a ball.
been too
Yeah.
long, man. We may have to reach back out and see what's going
Yeah,
on.
we gonna have to reach back out to get Junior, man. Junior cool as hell. But yeah, man, Mike Trout to the Braves. I would love to see it. Yeah, Jorge Soler. Yeah,
Soler,
yeah,
I'm saying, bro.
he's still in the league.
Shoot,
Shout
what's
out
my guy
Robert Blackman. What's
name?
up, my guy? Yeah,
I can't remember. Oh, I feel so bad because I got his face and I see his face and I can't remember his name right now. And that's so sad. Oh gosh,
he came
was
over and
he was basically designated for assignment, and then Braves had picked him up, and I'm talking about he hit home runs and he was a fan favorite. Oh goodness,
was it BJ up there?
Nah. It was he was on the World Series team.
The dude wearing the pearls.
Oh no, not Jacques Peterson. And him too though. But that's what I'm saying, man. Because after we the MFers, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't heard nothing else really from Jacques like that. I'm not saying he didn't have good seasons, but it just not the same, man. Just not
sometimes things just see that's what he want.
Yes,
Eddie Rosario.
Yes, Eddie Rosario.
They actually had him a couple of years ago and cut him.
Man, anywhere else that man has been, but it just seemed like then Jesse Chavez is another one, and it just
I give you another one, man. An unsung hero on the former Braves team. That when he left the Braves or before he got to the Braves, you didn't know who he was. Martin Prada.
Wow.
I actually loved him when he played for the Braves. He always came through with clutch hits. But anywhere else, you really didn't know who he was. Keep it real with you. But yeah, man, I can go on and on about that, man. But yeah, Mike Trout to the Braves, I would love it at the right price. But if not, I wouldn't lose no sleep over it. But let's get into one more topic at least. And we got to talk about this because we've been waiting to share this part because this is just something that kind of pissed me off.
Oh,
and that's the NBA draft lottery.
The boy Smitty was like, "Boy, this I was like, well, Smitty was hot.
Melvin Dansby Swanson, they've been the same in Chicago. That's why
Yeah,
the money ain't always good, man. Sometimes you just gotta stay level headed, know that you're in a good spot, and just because
that
think
was
about
on
it, man.
Dansby too, by the way.
I know that's what I'm saying. That's why I just said it. The money ain't always, good. Because if you're in a winning situation, you could take a loss with them little couple $1 million. Because guess what? You'll get that money back in sponsorship. All you gotta do is land a couple commercials or land a sponsorship with a car dealership. You get that money back.
Mm-hmm.
See, they don't think like that.
I mean, my thing is the money. When I look at the contract, the money good. I ain't gonna lie, the money real good. But but still, it's just like Dansby. Come on, bro. You was already at home. Are you serious? You went to Marietta High School. What are we doing? But whatever.
Speaking of Marietta and high schools, Jaylen Brown, I hope he becomes a Hawk. We'll talk about that another time. Charlie Culberson, another one, Miss Pam. That's a good one. That's a good one.
A good pull right
That's
there.
a good one. Great backup catcher.
My
Great backup catcher.
And then didn't we basically bring him back for Atlanta to basically retire or something like that? That basically what happened.
Brought him back for a little while just to retire. Yep.
That's basically what happened. It's like
I think he was supposed to be a bench coach or something too. I think he's in the minor leagues now as a coach in Atlanta's farm system, if I'm not mistaken.
But the whole point of that segment right there is just to let you know, man, it's a nice mystique, it's an aura about the city, and when you put on a Braves uniform, something about that icy white jersey, man.
Let me say this before we move on by the Braves. If I want to take this team to the next level for the next generation, if I was AA, I would have just went into the luxury chat for Shohei Ohtani. Even though he probably wanted to stay on the West Coast because it's closer to where he's from. Mm-hmm. But I would have tried to lure him with every dime I could pull up. Telling you, point blank, period. If I could have found the way to lure Shohei Ohtani to go around Acuna, we win by 4 or 5 straight championships.
All I got to say is y'all better be lucky George Steinbrenner went to go meet the Lord. That's all I got to say.
Oh, yeah, because he would have definitely been with the Yankees. One thing about George and his son who's still living, oh, yeah. It wouldn't have ended well for nobody.
Yeah, man, that Joker just used to I'm spending it.
That dude spending money like he at McDonald's ordering a combo meal. Let me get that one, and that one to go with that one. That's how George Steinbrenner used to do.
Bro, that run from 96 to was it 04? Well, I'm just saying, just as far as them going to the playoffs and all that stuff. But yeah, that run.
Okay, yeah. So they're about
they had like about an 8 to 10 year run to where it's just like every year they could have won it, and it's just like, bro, what is going on?
And we handed them the 96 World Series because we should have won. We just fell flat. Just fell flat.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. Let's talk about these Hawks, man. Talk about how you felt when you first seen them. Because first of all, to add a little context, some people are saying that the Hawks had a 40% chance to get the number 1 pick. That's not true.
I knew that was bullshit.
The Hawks had a 40% chance to get into the top 4. And then they had a 6.7. I don't have it in front of me. I want to say it was like a 6.7% chance to get the number 1 pick. But when we in the Ricochet draft, we had like a 3% chance.
3% chance.
And we got it. Okay. You don't get into the top 4. I mean, you don't get the number 1 pick. Cool, fine, whatever. But you don't even get into the top 4. And apparently, because of how the ping pong balls are, how it was orchestrated was if we would have got like one number extra over the Grizzlies, we would have got the 3rd spot. But the Grizzlies, how it fell with the ping pong balls, they was able to get the ball that they needed, and they went to the 3rd spot. And I'm just like, okay. It's like, goodness, man. It just why they don't want us to have good things. They did not want us to have either one of those.
But to fall all the way to number 8, bro. To number 8.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It still is. Conversing is in broadcasting. Yep. Fred McGriff,
Oh,
that's another
absolutely.
one, Crime Dog.
A Fred Crime Dog. Man, crazy story about Crime Dog. I never forget this. 14 years old. Let me see. 14. I was 14 years old, having scoliosis surgery, and having a bad day. They was coming in telling my mama about what was going on, what the surgery was gonna be like. So I was just, out of my mind. My mind was just, out of it. 14 years old now. Surgery is scary for anybody, no matter what it is. But just imagine having your back cut open and your spine worked on. And the doctor turned on the Braves game. He said, I'm gonna turn this on just to take your mind off and let me and your mama talk. And I'm sitting up looking, and Crime Dog, he was my favorite player. I said, man, I hope he hit a home run. And I'm just sitting up there cheering. 3 pitches later, knock it out the park. Very next up at bat, 2-1 count. Slaps it over the right field wall. Hit 2 home runs in that game. The reason why I never forget that, because that was one of the most strenuous times of my life. And the crazy thing about it, that was around the same time the stadium caught on fire.
I remember hearing about that.
The booth caught on fire. I remember that. The booth caught on fire, and it was just that bad. But I never forget that, because Fred McGriff, to me, coming over, I think he was with Toronto, and he came over from San Diego at that point, because I actually remember he played for the Blue Jays as well. So one of the best free agent acquisitions in Atlanta Braves history. Melvin, 9.8 chance. That's pathetic.
Like I said, I didn't have it in front of me, but still, that's even better chances. Yeah. So it's like, and we still couldn't get the number 1 pick when we have a better chance. And my thing is, people, I'm telling you, when I say Anzi Saleh look like that old group is written all over your face, my
Rude
man,
boys.
his face sank when it was the 8th spot. Because I'm pretty sure we did so much scouting on at least the top 5.
Chris, I was so pissed off. I had a chicken wing in my hand.
You threw it.
And I slung it and threw it into the TV and got sweet and sour sauce all over the damn screen.
Dang.
That's how pissed I was. Because I just knew we had a top 5 pick. I just knew it.
Bro,
and see, look. But let me put more context in this as to why they're doing this.
Okay.
When you look at the Washington Wizards is a former ABA team, one of the original teams in basketball. They were the Washington Bullets at one point. So you got to get them back up to code. They've already traded for Anthony Davis. They traded for Trae Young. Who else do they have? AD. Well, I said AD, didn't it?
Yeah, still.
So AD,
They still got Sar.
So now you look at you bring in
Cavante George.
Cavante George is another one, former Utah Jazz. So when you look at what they've done this past season, you add a top 3 pick to that. That's a solid team. All they got to do is find some solidified bench players. Let's look at Utah, another story organization. Been bad for so long, and our coach Snyder was their former coach, and they haven't been nothing since he left. Since they got rid of Millsap, who else did they have? Millsap, Donovan Mitchell, Jordan Clarkson was their most recent decent player. So when you look at Utah, another story franchise they're trying to get kick-started again, Memphis Grizzlies. One of the NBA's most recognizable players in John Morant, who's going downhill. They got to put another superstar with him to keep that team afloat. Because remember, they used to have guys like Zach Robinson, Mark Gasol, Mike Conley, Jason Williams. So that's another thing. We already know about the Bulls. We ain't even got to talk about that. So the point I'm trying to make, these teams that lost their aura over the years, this is the draft to put them back into contention or put them on the right track. See, that's why I say this is rigged. Because we had no business winning the number 1 pick when we got Ricochet. We didn't. But they say, hey, they don't never get a number 1 pick. Hey, let's switch it up. And I'll give y'all a better example before I let Chris go. Remember when Luka Doncic got traded? What happened the very next year? Cooper Flag.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make up for that mistake. But y'all get where I'm going with it, though, right? Clippers, another one.
Sure.
Clippers, another one. They had a super team just 3 years ago. But now, even Kawhi won't out. So now what do? They got to get another young superstar to build around on that team.
Oh, for sure.
There's always a method to this madness. Brooklyn Nets don't even have a star. So they got to get a star because that team, if they don't pick it up, they probably be sold again and end up moving again.
We'll see. We'll see, man. I know that's a nice market for them, and they did a lot just to get that team there.
Right.
But still, I'm gonna be real with you though, too, man. Yeah, the Clippers do have the Pacers pick. It'll be interesting to see if the Clippers want to move on from that pick. But I also heard that the Wizards are open to trading the number 1 pick. And that's easy to determine that because, y'all just traded for 2 all-stars, a.k.a. y'all just traded for contracts. So it's like
all they got to do is add a young versatile piece, and they straight.
But the thing about it is they don't want to have to invest in it necessarily if they don't have to, because
right.
They want AD to play. They already have Sar. They got George, and
they don't want another big contract.
Right, and they don't want to have to go on another contract.
How much is that first pick worth anyway? Contract wise,
it's not like how it is in NFL, bro. It's not. It's like. It depends on the draft. Like, it really got to depend on the draft. You know how, like, in NFL, a first-round pick is a first-round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if the draft is a little bit underwhelming, it's still, like, in NFL worth more than it is in the NBA. It's like, it really is. So, even with that number 1 pick, that's why it was tough to even trade it when we had it for the number 1 pick, even though I don't feel like we were going to trade it anyway. The Atlanta Hawks marketing department and everything, they made a lot of money and all that stuff like that anyway, I believe, from using the fact that we was able to get the number 1 overall pick and everything. Remember, we had the whole big party and everything down there.
But think about this too, though, Chris. I agree, but think about this too. When it's a number 1 pick that everybody's for, that the people are for, they advertise the hell out of it. We can't get enough of the commercials, everything.
Right,
we didn't see that from Zach and Ricochet because that wasn't what the people wanted. The NBA couldn't market him. Now look at Cooper Flag, totally different story. Already got a shoe deal, already got primetime games. Anytime you turned on the TV this year, you saw a damn Dallas Maverick game at one point or another. You didn't see that with Atlanta.
You think about that year that we had one of the best chances to get the number 1 pick when Ant-Man was coming out.
And then that's the year that we should have got it.
Yeah, we didn't get it that year either. We were supposed to get it the year, or we was close to getting it that year when Zion came out. Yep. And Zion wanted to come to Atlanta. He was pointing at the Atlanta hats and all the other stuff like that. Man, he was making
when he was doing the draft lottery. When he was sitting in the draft lottery room, he walked past the Hawk thing, tapped it, and kept walking.
Right,
because that's where he wanted to be.
That's where he.
Because think about it. He's from up the road in South Carolina. There's nowhere from Atlanta. So he had to go to New Orleans instead, and I think they had traded AD that same offseason. So
yeah, they had the capital.
So I mean, that's why I say it's rigged, man. And I'm always hold you there till they prove me different. And the bad part
is, remember back in the day, bro. Remember, go ahead.
They saying they got a new system, foolproof.
Yeah.
So people won't think it's rigged, but it's still rigged.
Yeah,
think about it.
System.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
hey, real quick thing, before I actually move on to the next part of this. Remember that time when they was talking about they had the frozen envelope?
Right.
What was with the Knicks? Was it the Knicks that year or something like that?
I think it was the Knicks.
Envelope. So he know talk about so David Stern would know which one to pick, man. It just these stories about the NBA draft lottery being rigged has gone on for years. And I'm not gonna lie to you, there are times to where I look at some of these big names coming out and I look at some of these teams and I'm like, okay, they want this person to be the face of this team. They want this person to be the face of that team. Because think about it. Okay, AD leaves. You really need a new face for the Pelicans. Okay, here comes Zion. Timberwolves ain't had a face really like that since what? Kevin
KG.
Garnett.
Yeah.
So Kevin Garnett. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'd be like, but you try not to think like that because that's opened up a whole nother can of worms that you got to dump down a rabbit hole. So
facts. But I get where you're going because I was heading in that same direction. That's what I'm saying. When I said that when they traded Luka, it was a plan behind that. How the hell you go get the number one pick the very next year in the next draft?
That was
it's been so many.
Then
to cover it up.
Then
to cover it up. They fired Nico the very next season.
Well, Nico was a fired man walking anyway when he traded Luka.
He shouldn't have been able to even sniff the complex after he made that trade. Come on now.
Yeah, he was a fired man walking to me anyway. It was just a matter of time. And then, like, you know, they get the number one pick and all the other stuff like that. Okay, cool. But it wasn't going to be long for him. But, yeah, even that was cool. That was crazy. It's even been former NBA players that just sit back and be like, ain't no way. You know, ain't no way. You know, everybody talk about it on their podcast and all that stuff like that. But just getting back on track here with the Hawks, though, man, I'm wondering what the Atlanta Hawks are going to do. I'm wondering if they're going to stay pat at number 8 because it is some players in that realm that you could get if the board falls your way. I like Mikael Brown Jr. I know he's been having the back issues, but he fits what the Atlanta Hawks want to do. And I think he's like the best fit for what they want to do right now, pace, defense to offense, getting out in transition.
Yeah,
all that stuff like that. Like he
fits do in Louisville.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something though. If at number 8, Keaton Wagler is there somehow, some way, because I don't think he's gonna be there. I think he's a top 5 pick.
Hell no, he's going in the top 5.
Yeah, I think he's a top 5 pick. It just all depends on what the teams look at. But his catch and shoot ability, that is what I really want. I mean, of course, I want him to be on the defensive end. Of course, I want him to be a connector, blah, blah, blah. But that the way that his catch and shoot ability, just for when guys are getting into the lane and penetrating, collapse, the defense have to collapse, you know, you're able to kick it to somebody who has elite catch and shoot ability. That's knockdown. You know, that's
remind me a lot of Bradley Beal.
Right. You can see that. You can really see that, bro. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he has a lot of upside. The Kingston Fleming, he's the best ball handler / point guard, natural point guard out of these guys, you know, so that's going to be in that range. And then, of course, you got Darius Acuff, who's a walking bucket. That's one thing I can say about Acuff. He can put the ball in the basket. But he feels like a cone on defense, and I just don't know, man.
We don't need no more of those.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm gonna be honest, Chris. I gotta do what I gotta do to go get a Dave Mara, no matter what it takes, because that's just what the Hawks missing. That just I don't think he's leaving the top 10, bro. I mean, look at the screen right now. Look at the top 10 picks.
Yeah.
Or the top 4. Just look at the lottery picks. The number 14 team, the number 12 team in Oklahoma City. Yes, I'm talking about Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they got Chet Holmgren, him and SGA gonna be the future of that team. Haverstein about to leave. Look at.
Well, hold on, bro. You gotta remember to add to your point about OKC. Hartenstein, what is due possible 28.1
mega deal.
million.
Yeah, mega deal.
So, like, I don't know if they want to sign that. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. That's my point. That's why I said a DeMara not gonna fall as far as we think. You look at Golden State. Another team that needs a center. Draymond Green been playing center for God knows how long. He's what, 6'7"? That's not gonna keep working. Charlotte Hornets. Mark Williams, they just drafted him a couple years ago. He gone. So he not making it out of the top 10, I don't think. And I think somebody that's behind us could trade up to go get him. And one of those teams I just named could be that team.
That'll be interesting. I mean, see, the thing about it, Golden State don't need to trade up to do nothing because they already kind of like salary cap wise and just talent wise. You got guys that got to come back from ACL injuries. Because, yeah, they lost Moses Moody. Remember, that was a bad injury.
Well, I think Jimmy Butler getting traded anyway.
Yeah,
he getting traded anyway.
They still got Porzingis. I don't know if they're going to bring him back or not.
He gone.
So it's just like you don't need to be trying to lose any capital at all. Now, OKC, that's the team that can go wherever they want to because they got
a slew of draft picks.
Yep. Yeah. And they're a team that is winning right now. So it's like they could do that.
You want to hear a wild prediction?
What's that?
If OKC wins a ring this year, this time around, Jalen Williams getting traded.
Oh yeah.
Because what else does he have to prove in OKC? It's time for him to get his own team. He's either going to leave in free agency or they're going to trade him and get something for him. Go ahead.
You want to know something funny? I don't think he needs his own team because I don't think he can carry it.
Because he's a Pippen, right?
I think so.
I can agree with that.
I think he's a really good Pippen.
I can agree with that.
And I think that honestly, him and SGA, they work well together when they're both healthy on the floor. I think they work really well together.
Jordan Pippen, agreed.
You know,
I saw it. I've been seeing it the last 2 years. Agreed.
Yeah, but I feel like if you send him to the Utah Jazz, that thing will be looking like Pippen when he was with the Trailblazers.
Okay, so what do you do? So what do you do? Do you use that number 12 pick? Do you go get a big man and think about moving Chet Holmgren instead?
Nah, you don't move Chet. You don't do
because think about it. But is he going to continue to take those pay cuts to stay there?
Well, I mean, right now you don't have to worry about necessarily a pay cut with him right now. But I think you possibly may move on from Hartenstein. I think
Hartenstein gone all day. I know that. Yeah,
I think Chet has at least another 2-3 seasons before they even would possibly think about moving him. Just the chemistry with the team, he's a big factor on the team. Of course, he's SGA's guy, so his voice matters too. So it's
another person I think they move. I think Lou Dort could be on the move.
I've been hearing rumors about Dort for the last 2 seasons, so it wouldn't surprise me.
It's time. But yeah, they're in a perfect prime position to keep adding to their team. And they're one of those teams that OKC wanted to, they can move all up to that number 1 spot if they wanted to. And say, hey,
it's gonna cost, but yeah,
SG. But think about how many draft picks they got next 3 seasons.
That's what I said. It's gonna cost, but they could if they wanted to. So it's some teams that can't move up. Like we can't move up to like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we'll lose too much.
Think about it. I know we got AJ. I know they got AJ. I know they got shit. I know they got SGA. But what did you just say about a walking bucket at 2 guard? Think about AJ or Caleb Wilson on that team.
I don't want to, honestly.
They're in a perfect position. If they want to, they could just make this one move and be set for the next 5 years.
Man, no, but that's what I'm saying because we're talking about OKC now, but it's so crazy because the Hawks have been labeled as possibly the new OKC growing right now because we are.
If we get O'Day Mara, we will be the next OKC. But that would be the same thing.
But he's not the only piece, though. We still going to need more than just Mara because he's still going to be raw. He's got a lot of ability, but he hasn't played Jokic yet. He hasn't played, Embiid healthy yet. So I'm just saying,
he's headed in the right direction, but at the same time, we still gonna need a point guard. So
Yeah, you still gonna need.
Yeah.
And my thing is not just even a point guard. You need more shooting. I do believe, even though
Agreed.
Anzi Saleh made some good moves, I still believe when you lost Luke and when you lost Vit Krejci, you lost like those guys that was like somewhat of your specialists. Like I would have loved to have kept Vit. Like even if you had to move Luke, I understand with that because you created a new trade exception, and that's always a good thing, especially when you're trying to use that to get other players. He has until February next year, I believe February 5th of next year to use that $11 million trade.
Yeah, it's next February. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you're creating a new exception. You still did lose some shooting. Now Luke, and it wasn't no defense. Luke Kennard is who I'm talking about. He wasn't defense, but he was the best shooter in the league when we traded him. And even though you did get back Gabe Vincent, who's some defense and can knock down some shots, I would have loved to have been able to at least have Vit Krejci still in the lineup for his size. And because Vit had his best shooting year of his career this past year. So it's like, yeah, you traded him too. And you traded him for a center who will later on get hurt and not even play a game for you.
Right.
So, and then like, hold on. No, I don't think that was for Dante. I think that was for the other center because they had, Dolph Reef. That was for him. And he didn't even play a game for you.
Agreed. I forgot about him.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like you had, my thing is Corey Kispert is a good contract. You can move. You really can. I think he's under contract all the way until maybe 2028, 2029, somewhere in there. So that's a good contract you can move if you wanted to try to pair that with something and try to move on or get an extra player or something. You can do that.
Do they move Okongwu this offseason if Havenstein comes into play?
To be honest, it all depends. I think the main thing to monitor is that Onyeka Okongwu is eligible right now for a 3-year, $76 million extension, I believe.
He's not worth $25 million.
I'm just saying he's eligible for it. I think the thing to monitor is if he receives any type of extension. Not even saying for the $70 million, but if he receives an extension at all. Because if he receives it, even though it's a small chance he could still be traded, I just think if he receives it, then the Hawks believe in what he's doing. They believe in the career year that he had in points, rebounds, points, assists, and steals. And of course, improving that 3-point shot. That's one thing I would
but let's keep it real, bro.
Oh, yeah, he ain't tall enough. I get it.
Yeah, he's not
he never gonna grow no more.
Yeah.
But
so if he stays and they can work him out at the 4 and leave Jalen at the 3, I would do that. But keep having him at the 5, hell no. That's going to eventually get old.
Well, shoot, to be honest with you, it's already old. But the thing about that, I always give Double O his credit. He goes out there and fights like heck every night. He has to.
I give him that.
He's mostly of the time undersized. So I do give him his A for effort, E for effort, whatever, and everything for that. But the ultimate thing is he should not be, I guess, in a sense, our Draymond Green. Because you was talking about height and who playing center. So it's just like
he perfect.
I like Mara a lot. I feel like honestly, the thing about Mara is remember how we was talking about Hassan Yang? Remember how people was talking about No, ain't even about my thing is, bro, I've been hearing that same
you talking about the Asian kid that can shoot from long range.
Yeah, but my thing is about the lateral thing. I've been hearing that about bigs for the last 4 or 5 years, even when Wemby was about to come out. Not necessarily they were saying that, but just bigs in the draft. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, everybody gonna have a lateral deficiency. But my thing is, find me a guy who's gonna be 7 foot something, moving like he's 5'11". He a mutant. He a freaking mutant, and he ain't real if that happened. He a cyborg. Pull the mask off. It just it's just not physically possible to do that. And
that's why I said they should have took Sar a couple of years ago. Fuck what he said.
that until we were blue in the face. We still would have drafted Sarr anyway.
No matter what he thought.
Yeah, I don't care about you not wanting to play this and not wanting to play that, and I don't care that me and your agent don't get along either. At the end of the day, we need what we need at the time, but they didn't do that, and it is what it is. He's in Washington, and that song and dance is over with now. But at the end of the day, man, the Atlanta Hawks just need to do what's best for the Atlanta Hawks. At the end of the day, all these different guys that we had, you said we should trade for Miles Turner. I mean, he's a stretch 5. Miles doesn't really move the needle for me right now. Maybe a couple of seasons ago, but I feel like he's actually on his way down now.
Yeah, not on this team. I don't think he would fit.
Yeah.
Maybe on what we had before Quinn got here. I could see that, but Quinn preaches defense and transition.
Oh,
and
dang, my bad.
That's just something that Miles just.
My bad. Before you read this, got to the point like about the Hassan Yang kid.
Oh yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
Mara is more polished than him, and we were all over him as a fan base, saying yes, we would love to have him. Blah blah. First of all, he got drafted way before I thought that he would. And that was by Portland, who already had a center in Klingen. But either way it goes, they went and got him as well, which let me know that one of those two men are going to be the door, or they're actually going to try to run that super double big lineup if both of them are able to get out there. But Mara can pass better than Yang, see the court better than Yang, shoot anticipation is better than Yang. It's Mara is a guy who can really come on the court, and I don't think it would take him long to pick up on the NBA speed and him to be able to start being a key factor. But again, it's like you still want to trade back. But again, we're talking about this early because the combine hasn't happened yet. There's a chance that Mara can go in there, and if he can show the ability to possibly shoot the 3 ball even better, Mara's definitely going to go top 10 somewhere.
If he can shoot the 3, top 5
somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, and my thing is that's not far-fetched at a 7'3" guy. That's not far-fetched to think that either. He could shake the draft board just for his combine.
But what did I tell you though? If his combine shapes up to be one of the best for a big man, we've been talking about these other guys. He could possibly go number 1.
That would be interesting.
Especially if somebody trade up the board to go get a center. He gonna be number 1.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. But regardless, I like him. I like Brown. I like Fleming. A-Cuff, he's cool. Wagler, like I said, I like him, but I don't think he's gonna move past. I would be so surprised if even the 7th pick came up and Wagler were still there, because I don't expect him to be. It's so much you can do with him, and he's still, learning. Well, not learning like I was saying in the game, but he's still a guy that's finding himself, and I believe somebody's gonna get a good player in him as well. So It's gonna be interesting, bro. Like this draft is gonna be interesting to see where the Hawks go. And I ain't even start talking crazy about the Hawks. Like, what if they just decide that, hey man, we're gonna trade? Huh?
We just getting started.
You said what now?
So we just getting started.
What if they decide they wanted to trade out of the 8th pick and don't go backwards but go forward? Like for real, trade the 8th and the 23rd and
move all the way up
a player or two and move up to at least the top 4. Because if I got to trade the 8 and the 23 and a player or two,
I'm going to get one.
Better be in the 4.
Draft.
I really better be in the top 3.
Yeah,
because I just feel like, yeah, bro, it's like I really got to be in the top 3 because depending on who you act, and then it's depending on who you asking for as well too. Because I've seen already the mock drafts out here, the mock trades. Let's trade Ricochet. Let's trade the 8 and the 23 and up, and go get like Caleb Wilson or something like that.
Yeah, that's easy.
And then that's way easier said than done, because my thing is, who's to say that one of those top 4 teams don't want Caleb Wilson? don't think that he can be a game changer in their franchise. So it depends on how the board falls, depends on how teams are valuing certain guys, and it's just going to be really interesting to see exactly how this draft board falls, what the Atlanta Hawks do. If they trade forward, they trade back. If they trade for a veteran, because I've been seeing the Giannis stuff up again. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about it.
Man, I hope, man, I don't want to talk about it. Jamal, that trade sounds good, but double O Dyson in the first for Jaylen Brown, that's a ripoff. Keep it real. Jaylen Brown is a superstar talent. You will have to give up significant value to go get Jaylen Brown. Even, you had to probably add in 2 first-round picks. You could probably put double O in that because they do need another big man. Dyson is defense, and they love to preach defense. But if they lose scoring, they got to get back scoring. So,
yeah, for real.
With Nall breaking out this year, he could probably be part of that deal. I wouldn't like it.
I can't do that.
I would look. I'm just saying, you got to give up something to get something, and they may say, "Hey, we'll take double O, but y'all got to throw Nall in there. Y'all got to throw 2 first-round picks in there, and then hey, because think about it, contracts got to match up too. Yeah, contracts got to match up
because my thing.
We in my mind, 3 players, 3, 4 players, 3, 4 picks.
I'm about to tell you what it's going to be. I'm going to give you a mock trade right now just because they're the Boston Celtics. Brad Stevens is an apprentice of Danny Ainge. And just let that sink in. And then, so the trade would be something like, and this ain't Kristaps Porzingis either. So the trade would be something like Dyson or Jonathan Kuminga, either or. Not right. You know what I'm saying? Then you would also possibly have to throw in Nall because they still need some shooting, and they need somebody who can play second fiddle to Jason Tatum. So you got that. Couple of them first round picks, double O. And and my thing is it's gonna be the first round pick in this year's draft too.
It'll probably be 23rd pick.
It'll probably be 8 and 23.
Wow.
To be honest. I promise you, Boston is going to ask for 8.
Yeah, that's too much to take on a $60 million contract.
You gotta know your enemy. You gotta know that you gotta know your enemy. Boston going to ask for it. Again, this ain't Kristaps Porzingis on an expiring contract. This is Jaylen Brown, who was holding the team down when Jason Tatum was gone. Also was in MVP discussions. Also, point totals went up to career numbers. Yeah,
28.7.
Partially because Tatum wasn't there, but he showed you he had the ability. So again, they're going to ask for time stuff back for. That's just what it is. Like I don't want them to ask for this on all these different things, but you just see how the landscape of things go about. And players like Jaylen Brown, players like Ant-Man, who actually I would love over Jaylen Brown, but those type of players, man, they're going to garnish a healthy send back or a healthy, return.
And we talking about Ant younger than Jaylen Brown, so imagine going to get Ant. We would probably give up damn near the whole team to go get him.
And
all the way over again.
And as mad as I be shutting down Timberwolves fans about this. But I can speak to my Atlanta fans about this. It's us here. Yeah, we may, as much as we want to probably put JJ and Ant-Man together, think about it. You may have to put JJ in the trade just to get Ant-Man to Atlanta.
Yep.
Like there's a world to where that is a real thing. There's a world to where like they say, okay, yeah, Nall is cool, but give us Nall, JJ, and both of them first round picks and a pick swap for next year or something like that, and then you can have Ant-Man.
That's crazy. Sound bad.
Like I'm just saying, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. These are star players. These are first team this, first team that, second team this, second team that. You know what I'm saying? These are multiple all-star this, even if they're even in reserve, still multiple all-star type, stuff. So it's like you're gonna have to pay. then people are going to try to snipe you anyway just because you're the Atlanta Hawks. I don't like it, but it's the reality.
Facts. Facts. But I know before we get out of here, man, I know you want to talk about the dream. So what we gonna
Just
do?
real quick, bro.
I'm gonna let you talk about the dream before we get out here and tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, man.
How they doing so far?
I mean, it was only just one game, but I just had a couple of key takeaways from this game, and I'm talking about the first game of the season versus the Minnesota Lynx. That was back on the 9th. The Dream do play tomorrow as well because the regular season, of course, is here. So they had to come back in order to do it. They secured the win 91-90, and the comeback win. But they was trailing by as many as 19 points in the first half. By halftime, it was 52-37. And I'm sorry, the WNBA, it is not like the NBA when as far as like, okay, if you see the 52-37 in the NBA, you're like, there ain't no league. 52-37 in the WNBA, depending on the team it is, that could be game, set, match. So, and then on top of that, they committed 13 turnovers and they were outscored on those turnovers 28-19. You know, so it's like you had all these different things going against you. But so funny about that 28-19 because in the fourth quarter, to erase the deficit, that was the numbers 28-19 as far as being outscoring the Dream out being able to outscore those Lynx. The thing about it is down the stretch about it, you had your key contributors. You had Angel Reese already showing that her attitude is already rubbing off on the rest of the teammates. And vice versa. Like you've seen the competitive spirit from her and also everyone else. You even seen Alicia Gray, someone who doesn't even block shots, even get a block and be fired up behind it. Certain auras, it's just like the Hawks with Dyson Daniels when we first got Dyson Daniels here. It's infectious when you have somebody that is on the defensive end and they're not taking it lightly. It's infectious with the rest of the team. Her energy is infectious with this team as well. I don't know if last year's Atlanta Dream would have necessarily been able to complete, not comeback necessarily, but complete the comeback the way that it happened. Angel Reese with the block, with the game-winning block. But even before that, they were tied up and they had to tie up and they had to get the jump ball to even get there. So that's more defense, you know, and being active within the passing lanes that the girls were. Even before that, Tahina Pow, who was one of my favorite players on the Atlanta Dream, South Carolina, you know, it's an alum, hitting that pull-up jumper. And my thing is with ice in her veins, hitting that pull-up jumper with about 11 seconds to go in the game. My thing is like she didn't really have like a great game, but that one shot overshadowed anything that bad that possibly that she did do in the game. Alicia Gray being a key contributor again, like always. Listen to the stats. Alicia Gray had 24 and 8. 16 of those points came into that second half because she was being more aggressive. Naz Hillman, Naz is going to be one of the most efficient players, I think, in the WNBA. She shot over 60% from the field, and she hit even a late game three-pointer that helped catapult these Dreams. Ryan Howard doing Ryan things. So, I mean, 15 points. Now, that's a quiet night for Ryan, but she didn't have to do much because you still had Alicia. You still had Naz. You had Georgia Canada, who, thank God, she came back and she's fully healthy now, had 6 assists, but also contributed with 12 points and 2 rebounds. And then you got Miss Walken double-double, 11 points, 14 rebounds, had to be the starting center because Brianna was out. So it's like Brianna Jones. She was out. But I think it still ended up getting her 50th career double-double. And my thing is she only did that in 65 games. That is record-breaking. That is record-breaking right there, talking about Angel Reese. So the team effort, everybody played well. I'm very excited actually about the Atlanta Dream just about as I'm excited about any other Atlanta team. I think these girls, if they continue to get that chemistry and camaraderie right, they're going to be on to something. I'm telling you. Oh, they play them tonight? Yes, they do play them tonight. They do. Let's go straight and say that they do play it. No. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Yeah, because it's the 12th. Yeah, so tomorrow at 8:00, they play the Dallas Wings. That's going to be interesting as well. What they have, that's going to be a really good matchup. I can't wait to play them, and it's going to be in Dallas. But my thing is, don't sleep. And I mean, we're not looking too far ahead, but let's just talk about the next four games for the Atlanta Dream. That's going to be a tall task. You have the Wings, then you have to come home to play the world champion Aces. Then you're staying home, but the Wings are coming to play you now. And then you're going on the road to play the link. I'm sorry, no, you're not. Then you're going on the road to play. Hold on, my bad, computer tripping. Okay, all right, here we go. Then after the Dream, play the Wings, which will be on May 22nd. Sunday, May 24th, you're staying home because the Mercury are coming down. And then after that, that's when you go on the road back to Minnesota on the 27th of May to play the Lynx again. That's how I did. It's going to be interesting, y'all. But again, yeah, they did. They did play a horrible first game, but man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm excited about these teams, man, and you guys should be too. It's been a lot going on around Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves, best team in baseball. Atlanta Hawks fell short of that top four, but there's still that optionality there that our guy Anzi Saleh, our GM, he loves to say. So you still have that optionality. Maybe they trade the picks. Maybe they stay put. We're going to see what happens because Anzi did say in the end of the season interviews about adding more 19-year and 20-year-old kids to the roster. But of course, then that was before the draft lottery. And we were thinking we was in the top 4 or top 5, possibly. Good chances, but it didn't happen. So again, we're going to see exactly what happens moving forward. Yes, sir. Atlanta sports is in the news. And that's where we should be. That's where we should be. Yeah, man. So shout out to the Dream, 1-0, going against them Dallas Wings. It's gonna be a tough game, but I believe in those girls. Again, like I said, best team in baseball, the Braves, Falcons, rookie mini camp. That's crazy, man. We really didn't even talk about Michael Penix and him hitting the field. But I don't know, Smitty. Like maybe we should do a special live coverage talking about everything that transpired at minicamp, because there were some things Zachariah Branch, there was things with Adrian Terrell. It's been some position changes. It's a lot. You know what? If you're up for it later, we can make a flat out show talking about nothing but Falcons, because today with this Atlanta sports, it's so funny that we talked about every team except for the Falcons.
Yeah, because we talk about the Falcons all the time, but we got to get the other team. They just do too.
We do.
Yeah, so we can't talk about Falcons. We can't talk about Falcons all the time, but we want to get y'all to download on the other sports teams in that line, not just the Falcons.
Atlanta on the rise, baby.
Yeah, facts. That's why we did that show about a month ago, a little bit over a month ago, about Atlanta time coming, the stars here, and they just building on them. So hey, we'll see what's next, man. But yeah, well, I mean, if I got to check and see what my schedule looking like a little later. But if we don't do it tonight, we can find time tomorrow. But if we find time tonight, we can pull it on off. But yeah, another great show, man. Mike Trout to the Braves. We love to see it. Hawks got cheated with the number 8 pick. Should have been top 4. And like Chris just informed y'all, Dream. They put together a great roster, man. It kind of reminds me of the old Houston Comets. 3-4 superstars on one team. That's what the Atlanta Dream have right now. So I love to see it. But Hey, tell everybody where to find you, man.
Hey man, A1 Forever Sports. That's the platform on YouTube. Please come over, like, comment, and subscribe, and be a part of the A1 Forever family because I love to have each and every last one of you there. And also catch me at the Hawks Digest again, talking Atlanta Hawks. Again, it's bittersweet, man. I can't even lie to y'all. I didn't want the 8th position. I wanted one of the top 4s because I want Atlanta to have nice things. Okay, is that so wrong of me? But either way it goes, man. Hawks Digest. We're always going to be talking everything Atlanta Hawks all the time. My guys, Walter, like he just dropped the video earlier. I know I dropped the video talking about it last night, the 8th overall pick and everything like that over there. Who could possibly be, the guys that we can select. And we talked about that here as well, briefly, and about other things as well. So make sure you're checking everything else. It's Hawks Digest. And I have to let you guys know there is a Falcons channel from Digest Media. So it's not just Hawks Digest. You can now catch me on Falcons Digest as well. So that's A1 Forever, Hawks Digest, and Falcons Digest. If you're looking for Chris Tipmore, I won't be hard to find. Just, type in one of those in. And shout out to my guy Charles over there, my guy Charles Jones, who have been holding down Falcons Digest before I was able to join. So shout out to Charles. But yeah, man, we're about to run it up at Falcons Digest. And it's going to be because each and every last one of y'all, it's going to be similar to Hawks Digest as well. Any and everything Atlanta Falcons related, you're going to see it over there as well. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work, man, because I'm never going to be walking away from A1 Forever Sports. That's my baby. That's my platform. That's me. So it's just expanding and trying to get around. And, God is always blessing. So again,
Nice.
Hawks Digest, Falcons Digest, A1 Forever Sports. And I'll also find your peace today because positive energy always creates elevation. That's how you find your peace. Be generational because it's always time to be. Catch me on Twitter, A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever, the real A1 Forever on TikTok, and on X as well. You can catch the Hawks Digest actually has a Twitter page now. So it's Hawks Digest YT, like as in YouTube. So you type that in, you'll find the Hawks Digest page. And as well, we're still working it out. So it's still a little under construction. Not every post is up there and everything like that. But yeah, we're definitely trying to work and getting into the what the social media field and all that good stuff like that. So just working.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Y'all know where to find me as always, man. Smitty Sports Machine right here on YouTube. Also find me on Twitter as well, at Fatboy Slim _21, because I'm always over there blowing that thing up, man, because that's exactly what I do. Like my boy Chris say, man, y'all find y'all peace today. I'm finna find me a chicken wing. And as I always tell y'all, keep God first always. And y'all be blessed, because if we gonna do another show, I gotta do a little research, man. But like I said, we'll be back before you know it, because one thing about us, we don't never stay gone for long because there's always something to talk about. For my boy Chris, this your boy Antoine Smith signing off. I will holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.
Peace.